Good morning, and you know what day it is? Hump Day! Mike. So, the science behind the changes that we make, the way that we do it, we define it in the Tony world. Now, everybody that creates lasting change goes through the same process, but there's actually a science behind how to condition yourself to feel differently about certain things. And the science is called neuro linguistic programming. And that's a new word. So for today, we're just going to learn what that is, and then we're going to learn how to do it. But understand that you are conditioning yourself and you're being conditioned all day, every day. So all that we're actually going to do is we're going to take and direct what's already happening. So it's kind of like, you breathe all day, every day, but we could teach you how to breathe better. We could teach you how to get more oxygen, and it actually works out better for you. So that's what we're going to do with this science called neuro-linguistic programming or neuro-associative conditioning. And so let's think about commercials, because commercials are great at doing this. And a beer commercial is one of my favorites. When football is on this coming weekend, unfortunately not the Packers, you get a chance and watch a beer commercial. Beer commercials are the best at neuroassociative conditioning. And how they do that is they show you all of this stuff that has nothing to do with their product, and then they show you their product. So typically it'll be something like beautiful people running around, playing volleyball, fishing, playing football, driving fast vehicles. They're young, they're in great shape, they're hot, they're sexy, they're scantily clad, and then boom, they show you the product. Like Coors Light, the silver bullet, right? Very subtle. That is neuroassociative conditioning. What that does is it conditions your brain to think, oh, see this? It equals this. So if I drink beer, I'm going to be in great shape and young, and I'm going to look hot, and I'm going to be around hot people, and I'm going to be doing all of this stuff. Now, if you drink beer, is that where you're going to end up? No. But does it work? Yeah, it works spectacularly. And that's all that conditioning is. Think about when you go to sell a house. A lot of people, when they go to sell a house, they'll put cookies or a pie in the oven, or they'll light a candle that smells like chocolate chip cookies or a pie. Well, why are you doing that? Well, you're doing that because you hope that the people that are going to come look at this house when they were young, they had some sort of positive experience with that smell, because nothing goes to the memory portion of your brain more than smell. That sense goes to what we call the reptilian portion of the brain more than anything else. And all we mean by reptilian portion is just the portion of the brain that is the most reactive to things. It's the first part of your brain that forms. So if you're a kid and your grandma used to make cookies and you have fond memories of being at grandma's house or at your or with your mom when you were young and somebody made an apple pie, then when you walk into this house and you smell the cookies, you'll go back to those memories, and it'll give you good feelings of this house, and it'll make you want to buy it. That's neuroassociative conditioning. Now, if grandma happened to make the cookies and grandma was a terrible, rotten person who was incredibly mean to you, as soon as you smell the cookies, you're going to go right back to grandma being mean to you, and now you're not going to want to buy that house. So all we're going to do is learn that conditioning is happening all the time. Every time you pick up this phone and see an ad, every time you turn on a television and you see an ad, there is neuroassociative conditioning happening. And the challenge is we get conditioned and we don't know why. And we don't know how, and we don't know how to control it. And so then we live in a response situation. Let's say that you gave everything you had to a relationship, and the relationship went south. The person left you or cheated on you or did something like that. So what happens? Now we link up in our brain that relationships equal pain. And so then what will we do? Well, we might get into another relationship because enough time has passed and we've decided, oh, we're going to we're going to try to go down this road. but you'll sabotage the relationship because you've got a link in your brain of relationships equal pain, and this person is going to leave me or this person is going to hurt me. So you'll go so far in the relationship, and then you'll start doing things that hurt the relationship, and you'll do it unintentionally. You'll do it uh, your mind will start to take advantage of the situation and work against you in that particular situation. Your subconscious, that's the word I'm looking for. I haven't had enough coffee. Your subconscious will take over and it will start to deteriorate the relationship. What we want to do is know that these conditioned responses exist and we want to change them. So if you've got a conditioned response to exercise, if you've got a conditioned response to eating healthy, if you've got a conditioned response to relationships, you want to realize that that happened, and then you want to change all of that conditioning. Here's the great part. We can completely reprogram ourselves, and it's easy, and it's quick, and it works. It's incredibly effective. So for today, just understand that neuroassociative conditioning is a thing. Understand that you're being conditioned all the time, that you've been conditioned in the past, that if you respond to something in a way that doesn't logically make sense to you, it's probably because you had some event happen earlier in your life, and because of that event, you have this conditioned response. And what we want to do is we want to go from unconscious response to conscious response and condition the responses that we want. Let's take money. A lot of people have all kinds of conditioned responses to money, especially I was raised Catholic, especially if you were raised Catholic, you've got all kinds of guilt when it comes to money. And so what'll happen? Well, you decide, well, I want financial independence, and you'll start working towards that, and all of a sudden you'll start achieving it, and then you'll take steps backwards. Because your other than conscious mind will start to sabotage and say, wait a minute, I've got all these conditioned responses that people who have an excessive amount of money are bad. They did something wrong. They're somehow evil. They somehow took advantage of other people, and I don't want to be like that. So now you'll start to sabotage. See, we want to get rid of those conditioned responses. So for today, on Hump Day, no, neurolinguistic or neuroassociative conditioning is a thing. It exists. You're being conditioned. You have been conditioned. And so now just start to pay attention to that. As you go through the day, think about the conditioned responses that you have to certain things, and then start asking yourself, why is my response that way? Where did that come from? Because almost always, and a lot of times this can be things that we hold incredibly valuable to ourselves, almost always they came out of something that was not intentionally designed to create that response. It almost always is something that just happened, and then you linked this up in your head, and now it's all of a sudden this massive belief that you hold incredibly true. But the bad part is it hinders you in terms of moving forward in the way that you want. If you want financial independence and you've got those conditioned responses, you got to get rid of them. If you want a great relationship and you've got conditioned responses from prior relationships, which, let's face it, if you've lived through life, you've had some bad experience in relationships. That's part of relationships. Well, if you haven't gotten rid of that bad conditioning, chances are you're not going to be able to do a great job in your new relationship, at least not the 100% that you need to give in order to have that relationship be spectacular. So we're going to go through processes on how to recondition ourselves so that we don't have those conditioned responses and free ourselves from that particular situation. So for the rest of today, your only assignment is pay attention. Why do you respond? Where did it come from? Was it something, usually it's something a parent said when you were little and it hit you at the right time and it stuck, or a grandparent, or somebody that you idolized, or somebody that you saw on television said something or did something, and all of a sudden that got linked up, and now that's been a staple for you for your entire life, which if it serves you is great, but if it doesn't serve you, then it's time to get rid of it. So we got a ton of people. I'm going to say hi. Mr. Drehobel, great to see you down in Florida. My great uncle Bill, thanks for watching. Mr. Lampy, you're always here. Thank you for watching. Jacob, nice to see you. Mr. Egan is on. Mary Kaufman is on this morning. Teresa, Deanne, great to see you this morning. My cousin Chrissy is up out in Boston. Great to see you all. Have a great day, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.